Hello and welcome to the Reykjavík Grapevine's newscast. My name is Valur Grettisson. I'm the editor-in-chief at the Reykjavík Grapevine. It's that time of the year. I need to get a haircut, I guess. I haven't been very good at getting haircuts for the longest time. Not a fan of them. I just try to grow as I can. Polly can't go inside with me, but so it goes. But she's very used to it. This is the barber shop that I always visit. And it's often been mentioned in our best of magazines and so on. And it's like if you're a man, gentleman, then this is the shop for you. But if you're a woman, you perhaps want something more complicated. This shop here, just to show you, it's called Rakarastofa Ragnars Harðar. Rakarastofa just means barber shop. Ragnar and Harður is the name of the owners. I think Ragnar is, Harður, sorry, is going to give me a haircut today. They are like father and son. So, before we go inside, and I have a ton of news to tell you, of course, remember our shop and so on. We have a wonderful book we are starting to sell today, is to enhance your Icelandic, if you're learning that actually. It's called Dagatal or Calendars. We'll put it in the transcript down here. And yeah, let's just go for it. Jæja, Polly, þú verður að bíða. Svona Polly bíða. Yeah. So, we're going to start with the front page of Fréttablaðið, which today it was about whaling. Okay. Icelanders are actually still we're hunting whales, and we've done so for almost a decade now, a little bit more than a decade. Yeah. This was, of course, we banned this in the 80s. There was like, let's say, basically the only terrorist act that have been committed in Iceland is when Greenpeace actually, or if it was a Sea Shepherd, I'm not quite sure. I think it could be a Sea Shepherd actually, which actually blew a hole into like a huge whaling ships in Reykjavík, harbor, and they sank in the harbor. It was absolutely crazy. Still today though, like we banned whaling after that, and I think my generation, like the generation born like in the 80s or early 80s, we were the last one that actually were brought up by whale meat. I mean, have you eaten any whale meat, like in the last 20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's really a funny story. So my grandmother, she invited my family over to dinner one time, and she actually thought she bought just a normal like steak.
Yeah, it looks like steak.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
But it actually was what is called hrefna.
Hrefna, yeah.
And it was just that whale meat, and we were like
a mink whale. So.
Yeah, it was like and she was kind of surprised it was just normal steak.
Did it have this horrible like Lisa's taste? Like?
No.
Was it nice?
It was actually nice.
My mom, always when she was like cooking this, it was always way too dry. I absolutely hated this as a kid.
Yeah, well, she actually like cooked it as a steak, so it wasn't fully cooked.
No,
it had like this a little, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, right.
Even though it was like medium well.
Sounds dangerous though. But yeah, I mean. But the thing is, in Fréttablaðið today, they were actually thinking about like how is this damaging the reputation of Iceland, and it is damaging. We have a boycott in some ways. Barack Obama early in like last decade, he was quite harsh about this, and he wanted to go even further when it comes to like have some sanctions on Iceland because of the whaling. Yeah. Now. 64.3% of Icelanders believe that the hunting of whale actually damaged our reputation now. And this is interesting because Icelanders are historically quite positive when it comes to these to the whaling, and it's a Islander thing. It's like Similar to like the Greenlandic nation, this is something that we have done historically for the longest time. Whales have often, like throughout the ages, it has saved us in a very good way. We even have a saying. It's called hvalreki. It's like when a whale actually comes to the shore, and it means that you're becoming rich, or like something rich happened to you. So it's very like it's interesting just to like if you think about it, why are this number not higher? It's basically because Icelanders are in general pretty positive when it comes to hunting whales, but then we have travel industry, of course, also. It doesn't really go too well for the whale watching to go and show these like whales in its nature, and then you see the black boat going by, shoot them with the harpoon. It's a pretty grisly thing to see, actually, because these are huge animals, and they don't always hit them straight away. They need perhaps they don't die quickly often. No. So, but the thing is that this is what this poll shows us is there is a change in how Icelanders are viewing this. There are more and more people that are against this whaling because of the reputation, as well as because it doesn't really give us much economically.
No.
I mean, for example, we have, of course, the fish industry is more or less our bread and butter, as well as the tourist industry. But the thing is, of course, the cod gives us money, but where do you sell whale meat in the world? You can't even transport it in a good way all the way to Japan. There is a company that is hunting whales, and they tried this, and it was a complete disaster. And they were actually stopped in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands, the ship, grounded there. And the thing is also, Japanese are also a whale hunting nation, and they have enough whales around to support their own sushi industry or whatever it's used for. So it's interesting that, I mean, also we have of course a new minister, Svandís Svavarsdóttir. She's in the left green. She is now our fishery minister. She says that there is no logic to keep on doing this, and she will probably, I mean, I think it's pretty highly likely that she will ban this a year from now. So we have to see how that goes. And also, we got a new Icelander actually to the immigrant that became an Icelandic citizen, and this is the musician John Grant. John Grant is actually a very famous, internationally known musician, and many, perhaps our viewers, know him and have heard about him. But he's he's American, of course. He moved here, I think he married an Icelandic man, or he's in a relationship with him. And he is the second, what do you say, like an international star that becomes an Icelander in 2 years. Because just a year ago, Damon Albarn, the famous singer of Blur and Gorillaz and so on, he actually became an Icelander also. 12 people got citizenship through the parliament, and of like 71 applications. Way fewer than we have seen before, and it's interesting to see it. This has been a controversial way to get a citizenship in Iceland. It's often said to be like for the privileged. That's not always the case. There were also asylum seekers there. There were individuals that have been in the media in very dire need of assistance and so on. So it's not as simple as that, but interesting, we have now 2 internationally famous musicians within our ranks, I guess. So that would be interesting to see. Yeah, and the inflation, what do you think about that? We have a recession coming, or what do you think?
I don't know. I try to be honest, not think too much about politics or stuff.
Do you have an apartment? Have you? And have you ever bought an apartment?
No.
Do you think that there is any chance for you to get into the market today, for example?
No, not with the new things that we put down, like lowering it from 19 to 85%.
Yes, exactly.
And like it's more likely that I would buy myself an apartment in Spain than here.
Yes,
like, at
why
least
not?
I will own that by the end of it. For me, I've always like thought like we Icelanders are way too much. We have to solve things right now.
Yeah. We are.
And the thing is, we think about it more like every situation is more like a 100-meter sprint than a marathon.
Yes, exactly.
Which is the wrong thing to do. Because by the end of it, it's only gonna save the problem for a tiny bit, and then we have to go again and sprint again.
And this is the thing, we are actually now fighting this inflation, and inflation is rocketing. It's said to be around 8.7% in June, which is quite high. I think it's pretty similar actually in the US and many of the European countries. And we have been doing, the central bank has been taking measures. One of them is, of course, raising the policy interest rates, which is the most effective weapon that you have actually. And this is basically the purpose, the reason they do this is to cool the economy. Another thing that has been happening in Iceland is that price of apartments and houses have been soaring, like rocketing literally. And this means that new buyers, they have had like, they're trying to make it easier for them. And one of these ways to make it easier was that you only needed, you could take 90% of loan to buy an apartment. You only have to have 10% of the real value. But now it's been lowered down to 85%. Now, many say that this is an absolutely wrong way about it. One reason is basically that this is, young people know what to do with their money and how to do this. You don't have to protect them. That's the reason they say that also. And also, they say the problem is not first buyers. The problem is the people that are buying like the second, third, and fourth apartment and renting them out and so on. This is the real poison on the market. But so it's interesting to see how they're fighting this. On top of this, we really need workers. This is becoming quite a dire situation. Icelanders are, as you well know, of course, we are only 370,000. Around 240,000 Icelanders are on the job market, or 200 to 240. And it's pretty clear that we need more people to just be at the travel industry, to be wherever. One of these solutions that the Association for Companies in Iceland are fighting for is that making it easier for immigrants to actually come to Iceland and work, because we have a lot of rules about like when to work, when you're allowed to, and so on. Because our historically our unemployment has been around like 1 to 3%. 1% is actually unhealthy. 3% is like a little bit high in Iceland, but well within margin. The highest unemployment rate that we have ever had was around 8%, I think, which was in after the crash 2008. So it's we have there are a lot of bad signs about the economy, and many have been very critical when it comes to the central bank. And I think it's safe to say that we could actually be heading for pretty tough times, even a recession with a small r. But keep in mind, there are ways to you can't just say recession. There are elements that have to be there. Yes, now I can see. There
you go.
Perfect. Thank you. Polly is sitting at the bench. She really likes actually to sit out here. It's a really nice situation. I always take a cup of coffee with you. It's nice to walk back, especially in these hot, nice weathers. Although it's not that great, it could be a little bit warmer. So, how do we do this, Polly? And like this. So that's it for the newscast. I hope you know a little bit more about everything. Hope you like my new haircut. It's a bit. I went all in just to make it really short and summery. I'm going abroad this summer, so I need to have. I can't have the. It's too much of a hassle to have the hair, which is the most insignificant problem of them all when you're a guy. But yeah, so it goes. Of course, remember our shop, and if you want to actually go to this barber shop, we'll put a link down to it. They are pretty straightforward. I like that. Most often you can have a walk-in, but you can also go and have you can of course book a time online. It's safer, but the other thing is also fun. And yeah, you want to add something to it, Polly? Well, we have to go throw for her. So, until next time.